Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Prediction Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. And as always, the Grueling Truth is powered by Betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding an online casino or sportsbook that's right for you. Make sure you check them out at Betting.net. I am your host for the NFL Prediction Show, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I'd like to welcome in my co-host. First up, we've got NFL Dan Kornhauser. How you doing, Dan?
What's up, guys? The Lions had a bye week this past week, so I was able to chill, watch whatever game I wanted. I wasn't stuck watching my butthole team. So it was fun to watch other teams. It's nice to see what winning football likes around the league since, I get stuck watching the Lions every Sunday.
And the Lions just gave up another touchdown. And also we've got from the 1981 National Championship, Indiana Hoosiers, number 34 on the floor, number 1 in Dan's heart, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing peachy king. My Colts pulled out another big victory.
All right. We have a special guest. We're going to welcome him in. This is Jake from Sports Bet Splits. How you doing, Jake?
Hey, pretty good. How about you guys?
All right. So this is Dan Kornhauser on the bottom left. He's an NFL beat reporter. And we've got up on the top right, Steve Risley, member of the 1981 Indiana Hoosiers National Championship team. And we are going to go ahead and start picking the games for this week. You got in just in time. And we're going to start off with another great Thursday night matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals.
Hey,
Cardinals.
Mike.
What?
Does our guest have thick skin or is he thin-skinned?
Here we go.
We got to know how to treat him.
Are you thick-skinned or thin-skinned?
We got to coddle his little betting ass, or can we just rip him for making stupid bets?
You could say whatever you'd like. I that's how I roll. So,
where are you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh God!
Oh shit! Are you a Steelers fan?
Oh yeah, and
you're a Steelers fan. Oh well, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year. All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to look at the Saints and Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 1.5. It's such a great game. We got to let Jake pick. What did we tell you about interrupting people, Steve?
No, Mike, you have a clock covering your face. We can't even see you.
That might be for the better.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. All right, so Saints at Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 1.5, Jake. Who do you like?
So are we how's this work? We just doing straight against the spread or
straight against the spread?
Teasers?
Anybody can pick it straight up. That, and if we do more than just straight up or just with the spread and we do teasers and all that, the show goes for like 6.5 hours.
I got you. I am taking the Saints in this spot. I know the Cardinals do not play well at home. I'll take the +2.
All right. Let's go with Dan. Dan, what do you like here?
I'm going to go with Arizona if this is -1.5. I mean, New Orleans is just so disappointing this season. I wish they were better. I thought they would be better with Dalton, but it's ugly in New Orleans. And their defense is just awful. I think it's 3 straight games have allowed like 28+ points or something like that. Arizona here.
Yeah, I like the fact that the Cardinals get back DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
They're at home. It's on a Thursday night. I'm a Bengals fan, so I know Andy Dalton struggles in prime time. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Actually, a couple days ago, I wrote an article for this and picked the Saints, but I've changed my mind since. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is a big addition. Steve, what do you like?
Neither team. They're both shit teams. So it's like, which one?
Hey, Steve, this is better than watching your Colts play the Broncos 2 weeks ago.
I know. Pick the cream of the crap. Pick the cream of the crap right now is what I'm doing. I'm going to go with you guys and go with the Cardinals. They're playing at home, and that's the only reason I'm going to go with them, because they're playing at home.
Cardinals, there it is. All right, Steve. So we're all a clean sweep, all Arizona.
No, we had Jake was the Saints. Come on, don't just be thinking about yourself, Dan.
Sorry, I get excited sometimes. You know me.
Did you guys do that accordingly? Just had to go against the new guy?
No, it was just it's the Saints and the Cardinals. I flipped a coin because
Jake,
there's no way I'm touching this game with my own money. Put it like that.
Jake, we just believe it. We all know we're smarter than you, so don't worry about it. Because we do other things for a living.
Me too.
You don't know, Jake.
I have a pool. I have a
Early.
pool out beside my back porch right now. That's why my picture's not coming in great. You know, I got a driveway to park all my cars in. I'm good to go. So
He rents his house, though.
yeah, I rent it because it's too stupid to own one in California.
Well, I mean, you've got one of the bigger mobile homes in the Venice Beach Park,
Yes.
trailer park, too.
And you know what? I'm going to Yellowstone next week.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not. You don't ever go anywhere. You just sit in your damn house all the time.
No, I actually am going to Yellowstone November 13th.
Okay. Well, have fun
That's
with
when the
that.
series starts back up. Go.
All right. All right. Next up, Steve, since you're so excited, Chiefs and 49ers. 49ers +3.
Chiefs at 49ers.
Yeah. You could just look at the screen, Steve. That'll give you the game, too.
Where?
Steve's not smarter
You
than
got
it.
it so small you can't read anything. I got my glasses on. There's
You know,
no
the words
line.
are the same size
There's
as
no
the
line.
boys,
Oh,
Steve.
Chiefs and 49ers. Okay. So the 49ers are getting 3. I'm taking Chiefs all the way. Mahomes is the hottest player in the NFL right now.
Is he really, since he just lost to Josh Allen?
I still
It's not
think
a bad thing, though.
he's the hottest
He's
player.
lost 2 of his last 3 games, and you consider him one of the hottest players in the NFL.
All right. I'll take the 49ers.
Or are you just talking about the way he looks? All right,
Hey, hold
Jake,
on.
what do you like? What?
Hold on. Chiefs or 49ers, Steve?
He did. He picked the Chiefs.
+3. I'm going to take the 49ers.
All right. There it is. I'm writing it down. 49ers. Bet. That's it.
What the hell was that? All right, so
It was
Jake,
one of
you
them.
know you're not the
was
dumbest
an
person on the
F-troop,
show
Mike.
already, right?
That was an F troop, Mike. Turning the
Okay.
retreat into victory.
Okay, I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't think the 49ers can put up enough points to keep up here. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. 3 points, I think Kansas City could take care of. 49ers have too many injuries right now. And I think Kansas City needs a bounce back after that disappointing loss to Buffalo last week. And, you know, if Mahomes doesn't throw that interception, he's probably thinking about that all week. They may have won that game. So give me Kansas City.
And the
All right.
brutal loss to the Colts.
Shut up, Steve. Just because the Colts won a game once. All right. What do you think, Dan?
If the 49ers were healthy, I'd probably go with San Francisco. But the fact that they're dealing with injuries to Bosa, Williams, Ward, Arik Armstead, Mike McGlinchey, I mean, who else isn't injured? Hufanga, their safety out of USC that they drafted. I mean,
They've got average Jimmy G at quarterback, though.
and they got average Jimmy G, who's just not quite right to carry this team to victory over a squad like Kansas City when they're so shorthanded defensively. And I hope their ground game gets figured out because it might get ugly. It might be really ugly if they don't figure that out.
Yeah, I don't. The 3 points here, Jake, is mind blowing to me. That's got to go up before kickoff, doesn't it?
I would think so. I mean, I know it trended 2-3. I think there was some buyback on 49ers once it got there, but I'd say by kickoff and Sunday morning, you're going to get 3.5 at
All
least.
Right. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Miami Dolphins. The way we do this, if it's your team, you get to pick it first. Here you go, Jake. Steelers at Dolphins. Dolphins -7.
I guess. What's the is Tua coming back this week? Is that
Yep.
confirmed?
Tua wasn't even listed on the injury report. As far as I'm concerned, I think he's a good to go.
Yeah, I mean,
And Kenny Pickett was a full participant, so they'll both be playing.
okay.
I mean, Pickett's got to pass the concussion protocol, but if he's participating, I think he'll be fine.
I think Miami will take care of business. I hate this spot for Pittsburgh. They had a nice win against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is just not right. That was a really good spot for Pittsburgh to get a win, but Sunday Night Football, Tua coming back, I think Miami can take care of business here.
All right, Dan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami as well. The fact that Tua is back does swing it for me. If they were still playing with their backups, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater's fine, but I don't even know if he's going to be back this week. And their third stringer, I forgot Thompson, I believe, Skylar Thompson or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
but
you got it.
just just awful. If those guys are playing, I'd probably go with Pittsburgh. But Tua's back. Tua doesn't light the world on fire, but he had this offense looking good the last time he was healthy. I'll go with Miami in this.
Yeah, because my concern here is Pittsburgh's pass defense is riddled with injuries. You've got Najee Harris back, though. The Dolphins don't really have anybody who can get after the passer. I'm going to take the Steelers in the points. I don't think they'll win the game, but I think this will be a closer game than a lot of people think because I think Najee Harris will be able to run the ball a little bit. I think the Steelers' pass defense, as Dan would eloquently put it, is ass right now. But I don't know if Tua or Teddy Bridgewater. I'm just going to go with the Steelers. Number one, I think they have the better coach, but I'm going Steelers, Steve.
All right.
Not to win, no. Just remember that.
Just for
Jake, I got a question. You're sitting here asking if Tua is back, and you're a professional gambler. Holy cow!
My focus so far this week has actually been college football. Thursday is when I start fine-tuning my NFL stuff.
I actually do. My college football is easier to make money off of.
Well, Mike, let's move the show to Thursday next week so we can appease Jake.
Well, we could just, from now on, me and Jake will do a college football show every Thursday night.
Okay, go ahead. Pick Indiana.
All
every
right,
time
Joseph. Joe tips in and says, Dan,
yet.
are you wearing a Falcons jersey? It's a Jaguars.
I haven't picked anything yet.
Jaguars, I'm wearing my Byron.
Had a question. Be quiet. All right, go ahead, Steve.
7 points is a lot. Tag, I don't know how healthy, how in sync he's going to be. Mike, I'm going to go with you and say I think the Steelers are going to cover this spread because they got a better coach. And I think Tag's going to be struggling just a little bit on his first game back. So I'm going to go with Mike and take the Steelers and cover the spread on this one. Although I think the Dolphins win the game.
All right, next up, we've got the Bears at the Patriots. A rematch of Super Bowl 20, Steve. The Patriots are favored by 9. What do you think?
Patriots are rolling. I'm taking the Patriots all the way on this one. Bears are just puking on themselves.
All right, Jake?
I hate laying that many points. This will be a big teaser one for me this week, but I'm laying it in this matchup. Give me the Patriots. I agree. I think they roll.
Yeah, I think the big thing that sticks out to me is you got Bill Belichick against Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is offensive coordinator. Bailey Zappi, who will be a rookie of the year before the year's over. Patriots win. Patriots cover. Dan, I know you hate Bailey Zappi, but you taking him here, or are you going to go with the Bears?
As much as I want to take the Bears, I can't do it. I don't think New England's something special all of a sudden, but their defense has been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. Their running game is finally looking like what they wanted it to be. And as much trash as I talk about Bailey Zappi, he's getting the job done. He's not lighting the world on fire by any means.
Oh, my God. And his second start, he throws for over 300 yards, and you're still ripping him.
The Browns' defense was atrocious. Guys were literally running wide open. If you're an NFL
you don't think that would have anything to do with the quarterback, maybe?
No, it has to do with the Browns' secondary being trashed, and Ward wasn't playing in that game. They clearly missed him in that one. That Browns
always an excuse. Every week he does something, and you rip on him.
Listen, facts are facts, man. Let him do it. Let him do something special. Let him carry this team. The ground, like I said, the ground game was dominant, and the defense was dominant. That helps. That helps any quarterback. But Chicago's just
it also helps the defense when the quarterback throws for 300 yards. Which Mac Jones very rarely does.
I mean, hey, you could ask just how important 300-yard games by quarterbacks are when you talk about the Washington Commanders. I mean, Wentz is, I think, top 5 in passing yards, and that doesn't matter. So,
that's not what we're talking about, Danny.
Just saying, throwing 300 yards doesn't equate
again,
to right.
You're just a dumbass. So here we go. Next up,
there you go. There's the first one.
We've got the Jets.
Mark that. 14 minutes and 43 seconds into it, we got our first dumbass from Mike. I'll drink to that.
We've got the Jets against the Broncos.
Water to that.
The Jets at the Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 3. I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to take the points. I think they win the game even. Hopefully you guys don't mock me as you did last week when I told you I thought they would beat the Packers in Green Bay. But I'm going to go with the Jets, Jake. What do you think?
Well, is this line right now? I thought this was trending towards the pick 'em.
It was done this morning, so it's
Okay.
possible that it's went up or went down. So
Yeah, well, for sure. If it's 3, I will give me the Jets. The Broncos just look, even at Pick'em, give me the Jets. The Broncos just look, they can't move the football, and I think what Russell Wilson, I think, completed 3 passes in the second half for 18 yards or something like that. It's atrocious what that team's doing, and the Jets look great right now. I know a lot of people were bullish on them this year, and they're certainly outdoing even those expectations. I'll take the Jets.
well, I mean, when you pick a guy who may be the best cover quarter in the NFL in the first round this year, and he plays like it right away, and you got a guy like Breece Hall, I mean, the only question here is a quarterback. I don't really like the answers to that question, but the NFL, the way it is right now, Jake, when you look, if you do an NFL top 10 power rankings, there's really only 3 or 4 teams that should even be in the top 10 power ranking. I mean, it's a mess right now.
So much parity this year.
No, mediocrity.
For sure, and scoring's way down too.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, so that brings me to Dan, because his scoring has been way down too this year. Dan, who do you like, or Jets or Broncos?
I'm a little confused how this line. I mean, I know you said it was this morning, but even
What's it at now?
I think it's an actual pick'em game. I've seen anywhere from
pick them now.
Yeah, I've seen anywhere from minus 0.5 to straight up.
We could pick it. We could pick it as a pick 'em game. I'm fine with that. That is just what it was at 7:00 this morning.
I'm going to go with the Jets regardless. The Broncos just have different problems every week. Mostly it's coaching and quarterback play, but they can't get first downs. They can't score in the red zone. Their defense is great, but this offense is a total disaster. I'm going to go with the Jets.
All right, Steve.
Yes.
Pick the game.
Mike, I was looking at the ESPN fantasy rankings today, and I have no idea how to play fantasy football, but I just looked. You know who the top 2 quarterbacks in the fantasy rankings were?
Who are they, Steve?
Joe Burrow, number 1, Matt Ryan, number 2.
What does that have to do with actual football, Steve?
Nothing.
Okay. Jets and Broncos, Steve.
I'm
It's a
just trying to
pick 'em
give
game.
I'm trying to give you and I a pat on the back.
Why? I don't give 2
I didn't
shits if
see
my
Jared
quarterback
Goff
does
even-
well in
Jared Goff
fantasy
said-
football.
Jared Goff had a DNF by his name, did not finish.
Because he didn't play last week, Steve.
I know. I'm taking the Jets. Yeah, no way.
Clean sweep.
The Broncos,
All right.
this is exactly why you don't spend that kind of money to get an aging quarterback on your team.
But you don't do it
expect him
when
to
you
lead you
hire-
to the promised land. And you don't do that. It's an absolute idiocracy by these owners that think that Matt Ryan or Russell Wilson at their age are going to lead your team. I mean, get off the Brady syndrome. I mean, he's even fading now. He should have retired and saved his marriage. Right now, he's going to lose his football career. He's going to go down in a shitstorm in his last year, looking like crap, and he's going to lose his goddamn beautiful wife.
Why do you use the Lord's name in vain all the time?
I know.
That just makes you an asshole.
It
So.
does. It does. I apologize.
And I mean, who cares obviously, if he didn't want to lose his wife, he wouldn't play football. My guess is he is trying to get the hell away from her.
Well, he's got a
So, who
$350 million contract waiting for him to go sit there and talk about football.
Yeah, and he's probably got a supermodel 20 years younger than Giselle waiting on him. So he'll be fine.
I don't think
Next
there's
up,
any 20-year-old supermodel better than Giselle.
I think Giselle is highly overrated. What do you think, Jake?
I'm taking the Jets.
I think we should go to the
Jake.
Bengals game.
Jake, Giselle overrated or underrated?
I would say overrated. I'm not a fan of her attitude.
Man.
No. I think she's slightly butt ugly. She looks like Dan without the beard.
Yo, I'm sexy, man.
You guys are cruel.
Well,
Are you
and you're a
kidding me?
dumbass, so
She's
what the hell?
beautiful, and she's worth more than $1 billion. What
Good
the
for
hell
her.
more do you want?
Better looking, and she doesn't have to be worth
She
anything.
doesn't want
Next
kids
up.
anymore, so you don't have to worry about
Well, she's
that
too
crap.
old to have kids, dude.
Right. So just enjoy her. She still gets to go to the Met Ball every year.
That's the dumbest damn thing in the world.
Tom
He got
wanted
to
out
divorce
for
her
a
because
reason.
he's going to get
Next game.
Falcons at the Bengals. Now, I'll tell you, Arthur Smith impresses me with the Falcons. They're in every game, and I know Steve, brought up the stat last week. They're 5-0 against the spread. The only team like that. They're now 6-0 against the spread. T. Higgins actually practiced today, which is the first time he's practiced in 3 weeks. I think the Bengals will win this game. I think they'll win it by more than 6 points. Jake, what do you think?
Well, I'm hoping T. Higgins plays because he's on my fantasy squad. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll keep rolling with the Falcons.
All right,
Simply
Dan.
need to get there.
You know what? I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I wrote down Atlanta, but I'm going to pick Cincinnati for Cincinnati -6.
All right, Steve.
I hate this because I've lost every time I pick this damn team. But I think it's time for this 6-0 record to be broken. I'm going with the Bengals too. I think they'll cover this game. I think they will. I think the Bengals are a good football team, and they're going to start rolling sooner or later. And this Sunday's as good a day as any to get them rolling. So I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, Dan, get this, Jake. Dan's a Detroit Lions fan. Lions at the Cowboys. Cowboys -7, Dan.
Who did you take, Mike?
I already picked the game. You should pay attention, Steve. Bengals.
Sorry, I had my other screen up of nude photos of Giselle.
Nice.
It is nice. Trust me, it was.
Yeah, they're probably fake, by the way. Lions at
They probably
Cowboys.
are.
Cowboys -7, Dan.
I am going to go with Detroit. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do it. And it's nothing else but my own Steve Homer pick.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. I'm not a Homer pick, but I'm going to take the Lions into points because I think you get Dak Prescott back. Got to be a little rusty. Been a while since he played. The Lions' offense should be back near full strength, running and passing, which hopefully will erase the memories of 2 weeks ago. They've had a bye week to rest, 2 weeks to prepare. I'm going to go with the Lions for some stupid reason. Maybe it's just because, Dan tricks us with these mind games. Jake, what do you think?
So I have a couple reasons for liking the Lions here. One, I like the 7. The getting a touchdown's great here. Dak just coming back, I do think their offense is going to be a little bit rusty. And I also heard some stats on teams coming off of a bye. It actually favors more when you're playing on the road, it gives you cover more often than if you have a bye and you're the home team. So the fact that the Lions are on the road just coming off their bye, I think this sits well for them. Give me the 7.
All right, Steve Risley.
I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think Dak will come back strong. I think that Cowboys are still a good football team. Not a great football team, but a good football team. Lions are for shit. Although I love that team. I love their coach. And I want to see him do well. But I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one, go against all three of you.
All right. Countryman from Jamaica says, I am sure sports. So make sure if you're in Jamaica, tune in to I Am Sure Sports, the best sports show in Jamaica. We could prove it because they had me and Steve on twice last year. All right, next up, Steve, your team, Colts at Titans. Titans favored by 3. You there,
Well,
Steve?
you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah, Steve always takes Indy. I don't even know how we asked.
No matter what, I will not bet against my team. I refuse to. I don't care what the odds are, what anything is. It's a stupid bet. But I think the Colts are starting to play good football. I think Matt Ryan is really having a hell of a year. Their new rookie receiver, what's his name, Mike?
Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce is starting to make incredible catches, make big plays for him. I think that Pittman is turning into another Cooper Kupp type player. I don't think he's Cooper Kupp. I'm not trying to, I'm saying he's that type of a player where you can throw the ball to him anywhere on the field and he's going to catch it. And Ryan's starting to figure this out. I think the downside of the Colts is coaching. The Titans are all over the place. And the Colts are only a half a game out of first place right now in the AFC South. So I'm not sure this isn't a game the Colts can actually sneak up and win.
Well, they're only a 3-point underdog, Steve. So
I know. I don't think it's a stupid bet. It's not the smartest bet I can make, but it's not a stupid bet. So I'm going with Colts all the way here.
All right, Jake.
If you could get the 3 and you like the Colts, get them now. I think this is another one that's going to be trending away from that number. I like the Colts. They've won 3 of 4, beat the Chiefs, and their one loss in that mix was to these Titans. They need this game. I feel like blood. If they lose this, they're in some trouble. I think in the division, though. The Titans would have the tiebreaker on them. I think the Colts will win this, and especially if you could give me that field goal.
Well, let me say this real quick, because I'm a Colts aficionado. Hang on, Jake. 2 things. One is
Colts aficionado.
I'm a Colts aficionado.
What's aficionado mean?
What's the status with Shaquan or Shaquille Leonard? Is he playing again, or is that guy just taking a free money ride year?
Shaq Leonard was limited with concussion, nose, and back issues.
Okay. He's just going to go to the bank.
He's got a concussion, Steve.
He's going to the bank, yeah. He doesn't have enough of a concussion. He can't drive to the bank and deposit his paycheck. So don't give me that crap. Play your football.
So he should play with a concussion and risk his life because he's
Ray Nitschke did it his entire career. Butkus grew up, lived, and died with a concussion. So
obviously,
talk to me about that.
The key is he died with one.
Yeah,
even though he's still alive.
And the other thing I want to say, Jake, is against the vaunted AFC West, the Colts are 2-0. Okay, they have beaten the Chiefs and the Broncos. So, and that's supposed to be the premier AFC division, top to bottom. At the beginning,
it was supposed to be, but it's obviously not. I don't know that there is a premier AFC division right now.
They're 2-0 again.
That Broncos game was ugly.
It was horrible, and the Colts suck. And I'm glad you brought that game up because I was almost about to pick the Colts. Go ahead, Dan.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. They've won 3 games in a row, going into their bye week. They should be riding high. They already beat Indianapolis a few weeks ago, 24-17. Derrick Henry's healthy. Jonathan Taylor isn't. I know Matt Ryan is riding high. He had a great week this past week, but I don't expect that to happen back-to-back weeks. Tennessee's defense isn't anything special, but I think Tennessee has some extra incentive that if they win this game, they're already in first place right now. Going up 2 games on the Colts in the division, that would be nice, especially beating the Colts twice. That would give them a nice stranglehold moving forward.
Game and a half there, sport.
Same thing.
We got a tie.
Which is the same as 2 games, basically.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the year when the Colts win by half a game.
Okay. All right.
And the other 2 teams are fading like the Titanic.
So your team beat the Broncos 12-9 in the worst game ever played on a Thursday night in NFL history, and now you think they're going to
Hey, Mike, you know the great news about that is we didn't lose that game. We at least won it. Move on.
All right. Colts.
Wait, Steve, you took Indy?
I'm taking the Colts.
Jake took Indy. I am taking Indy.
All right. I'm the only Tennessee.
So he's thinking like me. He's thinking like me.
No, I'm not thinking like you, Steve, because I just...
That's an oxymoron. Steve can't think.
It's a moron, yes. All right. Yeah. Remember, it's not just sports betting. Betting.net compares the best online casinos. Sit back, relax, and play the top online slots, poker, and table games. make sure and link the description below if you're watching on YouTube to check out Tipico Sportsbook, which is our top recommended sportsbook for betting the Week 7 games. All right, next up, we've got the Green Bay Packers at the Washington Commanders. Nothing like some Commanders football. Damn.
Oh, minus
I
5.
don't know about this because, I mean, both teams are not very good.
Carson Wentz is out, isn't he?
Yeah, Taylor Heineke's playing. My guess is
He might be better
I'm thinking this point spread, if it hadn't went up since this morning, is probably going to go up before the game. So if you can get it at 5.5, jump on the Packers, give the 5.5.
It's actually trending the opposite way, believe it or not.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a little while then. But I'm taking the Packers. I mean, Taylor Heineke's all right for a backup quarterback. The Packers are a mess. No team can be a bigger mess than a team that's ran by Daniel Snyder, except for, of course, the Cleveland Browns. But I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay as well, mostly because the Packers can't be as bad as they've looked.
They can, and they can still beat Washington. So
probably, and I think a part of it also is like you mentioned Dan Snyder, but that's a real thing. I was hearing on the radio waves, and I actually have a friend who's a Redskins, a Commanders fan, and a lot of the issues with the fans and the franchise lies with Snyder. My buddy was telling me he listens to, Washington podcasts and whatever, and everyone who calls in, all these different fan shows, all these people are just ragging on Dan Snyder. And I think it's not only affecting the fan base, I think it's starting to affect the players. There's so much off the field nonsense of Snyder being a scumbag and all these other issues off the field that him and his franchise are having. And he's being so defiant, sending a letter, I think, to, I don't know if it was a letter to Goodell or a letter to owners or something, or a letter to somebody, but talking that he's not going to sell the team. Everything is false, whatever, just ugly. And that can be a distraction in addition to the Commanders being just absolutely awful. Just all kinds of problems. I'm going to go with Green Bay.
all right, Ron Rivera will be gone shortly, probably too. Probably the best thing that could happen to him. Packers at Washington. Jake?
Yeah, I don't understand why this is trending towards Washington. They seem like a complete mess. I do agree Ron Rivera is probably next in line to get fired. I mean, I don't know how you could possibly pick Washington here. I don't really want to take Green Bay either, but they need to get right. I'll take the Packers in this spot.
Matter of fact, I would say if anything, you take Washington if you're concerned about Aaron Rodgers' right thumb injury, which caused him to miss practice, and he's been limited otherwise. And
there's your reason why the point spread's going down, probably. But Taylor Heinicke is still the quarterback for the other team.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers is better without his thumb. All right, Steve.
I got to say this, Mike. You'd be proud of this, and I know I was reading today on Twitter.
I'm proud of you. You finally started.
Hang on. That cesspool of truth, where Jimmy Irsay actually came out after this double secret owners meeting and denounced this Dan Snyder. He was the only coach or owner that came out.
I thought you were going down there, Jake. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
He's the only NFL owner that said this guy's got to go. We got to make a change. We got to.
Yeah, but Irsay is one of the guys that should have been gone.
Am I right? Am I right, Dan?
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yep. Yeah. Irsay is the only one with the balls to come out and say,
that's like Charles Manson saying we got to do something about Jeffrey Dahmer. Go ahead,
Dan.
You
know why he came out and he's the only one who has? Because we already know what Irsay is. We already know he likes hookers and cocaine. We get it. We've heard the stories. We know that the driving incident.
Wait a minute, Dan. If I was a billionaire, what else would I do but hookers and cocaine?
Well, the point is that
married.
Wait a second. If you're a billionaire and you have to pay for a woman,
he can do what he's got his own jet. He can do whatever the hell he wants to.
Yeah, but the main point is his dirty.
Cocaine. It's America. He can get what he wants.
Yeah, but the point is he did it because his dirty laundry's already out there. Everybody already knows
Right.
he's a team.
I bet there's a lot more dirty Jim Irsay laundry.
All right, I'm taking Green Bay. For all the reasons you guys said, I'm taking Green Bay.
Green Bay.
All right. Next up, Jake, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are getting 10.5 points. I believe I wrote that wrong because there's no world where Carolina to be favored by 10 over anybody. But go ahead, Jake.
There's no way that I could be on Carolina in any game this year. They're basically a fade. I don't want to lay that much because Tampa doesn't look great, but I think Tampa Bay needs to get right, and this is certainly the team to do it. I'll lay the points with Tampa Bay, and I think they should completely take care of business here.
Yeah, I agree. It's still Tom Brady. You got Leonard Fournette against a weak defense. The Carolina's quarterback situation is a mess. So basically, if you contain Christian McCaffrey, you'll be fine. I'm going to take the Bucs here, Steve.
Is this really 10.5?
Yeah, Tampa Bay minus 10.5.
And the game's at Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, 10.5, 11. Yeah.
I don't think that's as easy as you think it is.
You ought to jump all over Carolina then.
Because what happened to Mr. Cleveland quarterback? What was his name?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, Mayfield.
Is he just done?
No, he's not done, but he's hurt.
Is he benched or hurt?
He's hurt. PJ Walker will start again. Mayfield's hurt. So Darnold's hurt. And the Panthers are going to probably be without their top three corners. Henderson, Jackson, and Holmes, all potentially out.
I think this is a bad bet, but I'm going to go with the Bucs.
I think it's a great bet. In fact, this line could have been 14, and I still would have taken Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is one of the most frustrating teams in the league, along with Green Bay, because you know how good they can be. It's not like their defense suddenly forgot how to play, and their offense just suddenly isn't quite right. They got to run the ball better. Their defense has these Jekyll and Hyde games. Jesus. And I think this is just one of those where they're just going to take their frustrations out on Carolina. And unfortunately, PJ Walker, who I think, if I read correctly and I remember correctly, PJ Walker had exactly one completion that was on his own, that was more than like a yard or a couple of yards, which is really threatening.
It's only one more than all three of us had last week. So.
That's true.
Next up, we've got the surprising New York Giants at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are favored by 3. Jake, are the Giants due for a letdown considering they just beat the Ravens last week? The week before that, they beat the Packers, or will they be able to go to Jacksonville and win the game?
So this game is one that's really intriguing me, and this is kind of this is how I handicap and look at things and what my account's all about. So this line, you'd think people would be betting the Giants, and I think the public is. But this line opened at 2.5 and is now 3. There's no way that I'm going to bet this game with my own money, but it sure seems like the market loves Jacksonville in this spot, and they have been fading the Giants every chance they get, but for some reason they like Jacksonville, and I'm going to have to go with that. So I'll take Jacksonville in this spot.
Yeah, I think this is a game. If it was 3.5, I would take the Giants. But at 3, I'm going to take the Jaguars. At 3.5, though, if this jumps to 3.5 by Saturday, I'll hit it just because the Giants play close games. That's how they play. Brian DeBall, as a head coach, has completely changed the culture in New York. They're winning with less than a lot of teams have. And Wink Martindale has done a great job with the defense in New York. Dan?
So you're going to take –
I'm going to take the Jaguars. What I'm thinking is this. When you look at it, I mean, they're coming off wins against the Packers and the Ravens. They're going to have a letdown. I mean, this is the classic letdown game in the NFL. And the Jaguars, I mean, as long as they don't let Trevor Lawrence throw the ball and they just run, they'll be fine.
I'm going to go with the Giants. I mean, they're the comeback kids. I don't feel comfortable, but in a game where I anticipate both quarterbacks struggling to keep their hands on the ball, we know Daniel Jones's turnover issues are well documented. Trevor Lawrence has been turning the ball over a lot this season. Last week was fine. He played well, but there's still something with Jacksonville that's just missing. They're going to be better. They're a good
they need more talent.
Team, but there's just something just not quite right with them. Besides the talent, there's just something else. I don't know. But I'm going to go with the Giants. I trust them. I think they could keep rolling. And, I mean, the talks on the radio waves here in New York, fans are pumped, not only for the Jets, but pumped for the Giants. And, I mean, the optimism is through the roof. This could be a letdown game, but fans are riding real high, talking about maybe only having one loss when they go meet Dallas in a few weeks.
And that's when you get a letdown game. So, I mean, the thing is this. The Jets and the Giants fans should be excited because Brian DeBall and Robert Sale are not nepotistic hires, if you know what I mean, which is what we usually get in the NFL, like Nathaniel Hackett and them. They're good football coaches. Steve, you're shaking your head no. You disagree.
Well, I think Kobe Bryant was a nepotistic hire, too. Joe Bryant, his dad, played for Philadelphia. And
What
then
the hell
Kobe
does
came
that
along.
have to
That was a
do with being an NFL coach?
And, you know, that crap worked
You're
out
a
pretty good
dumbass.
for the Lakers.
Well, you know, it doesn't work out good for anybody in the
Don't-
NFL.
Don't
does
throw
it
that
very often.
nepotistic hire crap on every label.
68% of all NFL hires for assistant coaches over the last 20 years have been somebody in a family that hasn't played. I mean, it's just what it is. Sean McVay, you know, he was 32 years old, got the job. Had a lot to do with his dad or John McVay.
John McVay won a Super Bowl. Doing
Good
pretty
for him.
out
It's
in
because he
LA.
played Opie Taylor. My God, one of them had to win. I mean, the coaching in the NFL is terrible right now, which is one of the reasons why to play in the NFL is
All
terrible.
right.
The play is awful.
If I see one more coach go for it on 4th and 2 on their own 40, I'm going to puke. I mean, it's absolutely stupid because they go by analytics.
That's kind of like Bubba Wallace taking out Kyle Larson for being a punter trying to put him in the wall.
Let's keep this to sports tonight, Steve, and none of your NASCAR bullshit.
Sports.
You know, wipe your ass with your Confederate flag, you know, put out your coon dog, and let's go on with the show.
I will. Yeah. I got a Confederate flag on top of my Ram 1500 Hemi-powered pickup truck. What are you driving? You're driving a Trailblazer or no, you're not even driving a Trailblazer. What are you driving?
Me?
Yeah.
A Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Why don't you kiss my ass and pick the game so we don't have to be here all night so you're trying to be funny?
Let's go, Steve.
Giants.
And you drive a Dodge. That should tell you all you need to know about you. Go ahead, Steve.
Giants.
Might as well drive a Ford.
Let's go, Steve. Let's ride those G-men.
Right.
And Dan, I love your handicap on that game. So this is why I can't actually bet this. I think the number's right. 3 is a great number for this.
Yeah, it's a tough.
I'm jumping all over the Giants.
It's a tough.
3.5. I bet the Giants at 3 now. Because I think this is a 3-point game either way.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Oh, did Steve pick the game?
Yeah, he said Giants. Well, good.
That was nice of him. Browns at the Ravens. Ravens -7. What do you think, Jay?
The Ravens just struggles in this second half or in the second half of their games is concerning, but the Browns defense is atrocious. I'll take the Ravens here. I think they also need a get right spot, and I think they'll put up points against Cleveland. And I don't think Cleveland can keep up with them at least this week. Give me Baltimore.
Yeah, the Browns defense is terrible, and the big thing is here, I don't think they're going to be able to stop the traditional run game with J.K. Dobbins back. And the Browns, with their defense, have no answers for Mark Andrews. I don't play fantasy football, but if you do and you got Mark Andrews, make sure you play him this week. I'm going to take the Ravens also. Steve.
Ravens.
Okay, Steve. Dan.
I'm even going to waive my Joby Brisket joke, so I'm not even going to give it. So
Okay.
no problem.
I'm going to go with Baltimore, and this line currently is anywhere between Ravens -6 to 6.5.
Oh, wow.
So
I got 7 on mine. Which sports book are you using? Because there's like 20 sports books. You can get a point variance.
Yeah.
That's why if you go to betting.net, they compare the best online casinos and sports books. So if you're going to bet games, don't just do it one site, because then you limit your chances. Because you may have one site where you've got the Ravens -6 and another site Ravens -7. So there's a big difference there.
Mike.
Be quiet, Steve. Dan's talking.
Mike, no, you can't do crap out here in California because it's all run by Democrats out here. So we don't get to do sports bet booking. We don't get to do online betting.
Well, that's a good thing, though, because if they did do it, then we'd have to have a show where me and Dan teach you how to sign up and bet.
I don't gamble. Gambling, I'm too materialistic. I do not gamble.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so that being said, I'm going to go with Baltimore. And for all the reasons you guys said, mostly Brissett sucks. He's exactly what we thought he was. He's nothing more than a backup quarterback who can play a few games, and that's it. He's too conservative. He's too inaccurate. He threw a couple of picks this past week. Just ugly. They can't depend on Chubb for everything. But the Ravens got to figure themselves out, dude. They got to figure out, is their defense going to suck, or is their offense going to suck? You can't have
the issue has been Lamar Jackson. The issue is Lamar Jackson turning the ball over in the fourth quarter in big situations.
Anytime you're an NFL team, you're up by 10 with, I think, like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Against the Giants and Daniel Jones.
Against a Daniel Jones-led team, you probably a bad look to give up 14 unanswered points, specifically when you give up 2 turnovers in that time span. It's just ugly. They got to figure out who they are. Do they want to compete for the playoffs? Do they want to compete for this division? Because the North, they're still in it. It's not like Cincinnati's running away with it, and it's not like they're falling out like the Browns are. They have a legitimate shot to take hold and keep pace with the Bengals, but they gotta get their shit together, man. And if this line was 6, 6.5, 7, I probably pick the Browns because that line would be ugly. But if Ravens -3, I'm taking Ravens.
I'll pick the Browns when it gets to 9 because I don't see how they're going to stop the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson's going to have to hand it to them to lose this game. Next up, the Texans. I shouldn't say that because that means now the Ravens are going to lose, but I'm good with the Ravens losing this game since I'm a Bengals fan. I'm sure Jake's fine with it too. Texas and Raiders. Dan, what do you think?
These are 2 bad teams. These are just 2 bad teams. The Raiders are another frustrating team. They had a lot of hope coming into the season with a couple of big acquisitions on either side of the ball in Adams and Jones, and it just one reason or another, week to week, it just hasn't worked out. They're 1-4. They're in danger of becoming completely irrelevant in the AFC, even though the AFC can be had and they can stay in contention. They're really close to becoming irrelevant. I'm going to take Las Vegas in this one. I just think when it comes down to it, the Texans are just worse. Davis Mills is just playing terrible football. He looked good early on. He had his flashes last season. They're giving him a shot this year, but it's ugly. It doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere with the
I'm sorry. I don't think the Raiders are that bad of a team. They just picked Josh McDaniels to be their coach. I mean, this is still a team with Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, all expected to be healthy.
They do have a lot of talent, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is coaching. I think the Raiders win this game. Davis Mills has been a lot worse on the road than he has at home. I think Dameon Pierce can keep him in the game for a little bit, but I think in the long run, I think the Raiders run away with this, Jake.
I don't want to do this, and it's the only thing. I'm going to ride with the team off of the bye on the road trend. Give me the Texans, and I will hold my nose as I do.
Answer me this question now. How many of those teams, after coming off a bye, playing on the road, had Lovie Smith as their head coach?
And
Davis Mills at quarterback.
Yeah, that's
The
why I
Lovie
said
Smith thing's worse.
Yo,
this is so ugly, and I don't want to do it at all. But I'll just hold my nose and hope that they keep it close. I don't see them winning this game, but keep it under 7. I'll take the points.
Yo, the Texans are literally either the worst or among the worst in every offensive statistical category. 32nd overall, 31st in yards, 28th in passing yardage, 29th in rushing yards, 32nd in the red zone attempts. Just
the handle is on the Texans. I don't understand it. I'm just following the market here.
Well, kudos to you, sir. Steve, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders and give up 7 points.
Let's go, Carr.
All right.
I love Derek Carr as a quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
and the greatest thing that's happened to the Colts in the last 4 years was that Josh McDaniels turned down the job coaching the Colts. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, you got Frank Reich. That's such an improvement.
Yeah,
all right.
Out of the frying pan into the fire. I get that, but
all right. Remember to check out your top sportsbook comparison site, betting.net, which offers extensive reviews on the sports books, on all the best sports books out there. Also, check out TGT Play on Twitter if you're into social casinos. And I know we're trying to get a sponsor with Bingo for Steve since he's up there in years. Next up, we've got the Seahawks at the Chargers. Chargers -7. Steve?
No-brainer, Chargers.
Sweet.
Actually, it's up to 7.5 on the one book I looked at, and another one it's 8. What do you guys got when you look at yours?
Yeah, I'm seeing anywhere from 7 to 7.5 and 8.
Matters.
Yeah. All right, at 7.5, you see a 6. All right, so see, that's why you should have more than one sports book. I'm going to do this. I think the Seahawks offense will give the Chargers a problem with Kenneth Walker. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and let's see. As Dan would say, Justin Herbert just didn't look right the other night.
Not quite.
Yeah, not quite right. So at 7.5, I'm going to take the Seahawks, and I actually think they have a shot to win the game.
Oh, crap. Jake. That was my big deal, Mike. I told you, what? Burrow 1, Ryan 2, the number 3 quarterback was Herbert on the ESPN fantasy pool.
And none of that means a damn thing.
Go. No, it doesn't. I don't.
I'm sorry for the interruption, Jake.
Yeah, sorry, Jake.
No, and well, real quickly, just to give Steve some props here. That is probably because Seattle's defense is awful. This will probably be a decently high-scoring game if I'd have to think so. Geno Smith's playing pretty good ball. I'm going to take Seattle in this spot to keep it close. And, yeah, the Chargers just don't seem right. I know they're winning some games, but Herbert's just off. There's something off about this Chargers team. I think they're one of the most overrated squads right now. That's just my personal opinion. And Seattle, I think, can hang in this game. And, yeah, I could see them winning this game too.
All right, Dan, you're a big Justin Herbert jock sniffer. What do you think about this game?
Listen, I love me some Justin Herbert, man. He's one of my favorite.
But you hate Bailey Zappi. So
he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. But
he's just not that good. Admit it.
It pains me to say this. I'm gonna pick Seattle in this one. I mean, honestly, man, the Chargers are the more talented team. Even with all their injuries, they're still better, at least on paper. Keenan Allen's coming back, which is going to be a huge boost for this offense. They've definitely missed Keenan Allen. And even without Keenan Allen, Herbert's still putting up pretty fantasy stats. But stats don't win you football games.
Remember that when we argue stats all the time.
Right? I know.
Okay, and one other thing, Dan, the thing you have to remember, SoFi is a bitch to play in for the home team. For the home team.
Yeah, because there's going to be more fans.
There's going to be more Seahawks fans there than there will be Chargers fans at SoFi.
Yeah, that's the truth. But listen, Seattle, for all their talk, their defense has been absolutely butt cheeks this season. But this past week against Arizona, They played really well, man. They got to the quarterback 6 times. They forced a couple of turnovers. Arizona, I think, only converted like 5 of 21 third down attempts. And Arizona didn't score a touchdown, an offensive touchdown. So, I mean, Seattle's got it in them. And their secondary, led by a couple of rookies in Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant. Those 2 young guys are looking really good. Woolen has a pick in 4 straight games, I believe. I don't know. 7. The Chargers should win by.
How about
7.
this, Dan? I think Seattle has a better offense than the Chargers.
Nah, man.
Right, well, see, right now, I'm sorry, but you got DK Metcalf, you got Tidal, you got a good run game. Their offensive line is playing much better than the Chargers' offensive line. If you look at the quarterbacks, I know you don't want to hear this, but Geno Smith's having a better year.
Currently, yeah, thus far he is having a hell of a season. But
yeah, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, 108 quarterback rating for the season. Justin Herbert's at 93.
And I love Kenneth Walker at running back coming out of Michigan State. Kenneth Walker is a perfect fit for this Seattle offense. Keep toting as long as that kid is healthy. Give that kid 20-plus carries every week. But if you're matching up their talent, the Chargers aren't anything to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? They got Eckler in the backfield, who's one of the best running backs in the league in terms of dual threat running backs, receiving and running. Herbert, I've already talked about Herbert. Allen's coming back. Mike Williams is capable of lighting it up on any given week. So it's surprisingly closer in terms of talent than I thought it would be at this point in the season. The difference is very minimal the way these two offenses are playing.
The difference is Justin Herbert is just a front runner, and that's what he's always going to be. He'll never win a Super Bowl. I explained this to you after watching him in college. You watch him in the pros, he did the same thing. I mean, he got put in a better situation than Joe Burrow did. Joe Burrow tore his ACL and went to the Super Bowl in the second year. Herbert still hadn't gotten the Chargers to the playoffs.
I think Herbert has the potential to be great. He's got all the physical attributes that you look for, but I think
that's not what it takes to be great as a quarterback. Physical attributes do not matter.
I think he's one of those guys that, as great as he is physically, he needs the right coach. And Staley is not that coach. They thought he was. They were confused.
Burrow got Zach Taylor. So
I really like Staley. And look how Zach Taylor's holding that offense back.
Zach Taylor is horrible. I know, but Joe Burrow still figures out ways to win games.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Burrow is up here and Herbert's somewhere down there, because Burrow has that factor in him. He's one of those guys that his team can struggle offensively, but you clearly know it's not his fault. And it doesn't matter that his coach sucks, because Burrow's capable of just putting the team on his back and carrying them to a win. Herbert hasn't really looked to be that kind of guy. The stats are pretty, the physical traits are pretty, but he doesn't seem to be that kind of quarterback, that Burrow, that Mahomes, that Allen, that Tom Brady, that level of guy.
Bailey Zappi.
He needs the right coach. And it's just
I'm telling you, you watch when we say Bailey Zappi 2 years from now, nobody's going to laugh when we talk about it.
I'll tell you what, if Bailey Zappi is as good as you think he is or could be,
hey,
I'll be the first one to say
it. Did I not tell you last year after watching Bailey Zappi in like the third game at Western Kentucky, did I not tell you this guy reminds me of Joe Burrow?
You did. You were all over this kid.
He has the it factor. He can see things other people can't see.
Yeah, you were all over this kid. You were all over him early season last season.
He will at least be a solid NFL starter for a long time.
Yeah, dude, and that's not a bad thing. If this guy can be
but you said he was ass.
Doesn't he own all of Burrow's records?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
He broke most of them. But he broke them at Western Kentucky. Not as good a competition. I don't care about records.
And Mike, just out of curiosity, what is the Bengals record? I really don't know.
3-3.
3-3.
Also, they're a half game behind the Colts.
They will be. The Colts won 4 games.
They're 3-2-1. They're a half game behind the Colts.
Okay, I don't really care, Steve, because the Bengals play the Colts 10 times. The Bengals win 9.
Well, we're going for playoffs today. The Bengals will be out and the Colts will be in.
The Bengals will win their division. The Bengals will win their next 4 or 5 games anyways and be 8-3. The Colts will basically fire their coach within the next 3 weeks and everything.
And my next phone call on my cell phone is going to be from Gisele Bundchen too.
I
So,
know. Your
wait,
next call on your phone will either be from Joe Spellman, me, or Dan. We're the only three that will talk to you. Go ahead, Dan.
so Mike, you're going with Seattle, you said?
Yes, I'm going with Seattle.
All right.
And I'll tell you, what are the odds right now, Jake, for Seattle to win this game?
To win this game?
Yeah.
I could look that up. Give me 10 seconds, but I would say they're probably plus 250 or so.
I bet they're more than that. I don't know for sure. But...
Let's see. It's actually plus 210 is the best number.
Is that it? Ah, damn.
Yeah,
I'll wait a little while. Maybe it'll go up.
The lowest I see is 110, but as high as,
Yeah, the opener it said I'm seeing was plus 240.
Damn, I should have paid attention then. But I got to babysit Steve and Dan all the time, and it takes up a lot of my time. Hey, Jake, you want to tell us a little bit about your Twitter page and what you do? What is it, at SportsBetSplits?
Yeah, so I try to interact with people a lot on there, but I'm basically presenting information that I searched for a couple years ago. One of my handicapping things is looking at where there's a discrepancy between percentage of bets and where the money's actually going. So, for instance, if there's 75% of the public bets on, say, the Steelers, but they're only getting, say, 30% of the actual money, then I look to bet the other way. And that's the information that I try to share with people. And, hopefully it helps them as it helped me.
All right, guys. So make sure you check Jake out at SportsBetSplits. Dan, any final words? Because Steve Risley is going to give us something eloquent to end on.
I'm going to say no. No, nothing on my end. Just Bailey Zappi's average. Go, Steve.
He's really not. But go ahead, Steve. Jacoby Brissett is average.
I'm good. Jake, are we never going to see you again after today?
Hey, if I'm invited,
the biggest
I'll come back.
show I've ever seen in my life. Remember, we have a lot of followers, so you might want to think about
it's
coming
been
back.
8 years. Yeah, and I think we're about to get back our original Twitter, which got taken down for some damn reason. So we'll have our 24,000 followers.
That's because Goodpaster voted for Donald Trump, so he got taken down.
It wasn't.
Hey,
I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I voted for myself again. I didn't vote for any Democrats or Republicans. They're both idiots.
And Jake, I just followed you on Twitter, so hit that follow back, bro.
Will do.
Yeah. What's your Twitter handle? I got to follow you too, big dog.
It's written on the page right now at
I can't read that crap. I'm 63. At SportsBet. At SportsBetSplits. I'm going there right now, and I'm going to get you.
And you can follow us at Grilling_Truth. If everything goes right with Twitter in the next 24 hours, you can just follow us at Grilling Truth again, and we get all our followers back.
And Pitt plus 2.5 and under 55.5.
That's actually my biggest play of the day. I gotta write it up. I'll post that ASAP once we get off here, just because you brought that up.
So, do you cover any sports other than football, Jake?
I do all the major sports.
So, who do you like in the playoffs in baseball right now?
So I actually have a ticket on the Padres at 12-1, and I actually think that they're just meshing really well. I'm not even throw out the fact that I have that bet on them. I think they just kind of they just meshed at the right time. Their pitching staff over the past month and a half has really gelled, and I don't know. They look good to me. And I did not pay attention to how this Phillies game resulted.
Hopefully, it ended up winning since you just said that.
They were
up 8-4 when I came in. They just hit a solo home run.
They won 8-5.
Okay.
Well, good. I'm picking the Phillies too. Who do you like in the American League? Because I think it's obvious the Astros are the best team in baseball.
Yep.
But everybody thought the Dodgers were the other best team in baseball. That was Steve's team, and they choked bad.
They did.
Yeah, I think the Astros, the Yankees, after what ended up being a grueling series when I didn't really see that happening. I just think the Astros kind of have that it factor, whether they're winning an 18-inning game by scoring 1 run or coming back hitting home runs in the 9th inning. They just have it this year.
The issue with the Yankees is it seems like they had to hit 3 or 4 home runs in a game to win the game. And I don't know that the Astros pitching is pretty legit, but the Astros are managed by Dusty Baker. So,
yeah, all the talk on the radio waves here and whatnot in the different podcasts and shows, Yankees shows, whatnot, talking about this game or this series has been, yes, the Yankees are a team that scores with home runs. They don't play small ball. Sure, they've been a little more aggressive on the base paths. They do steal a lot more. They try, but they're not going to bunt somebody in. They're not going to hit a bunch of bloop singles. They win by hitting home runs. And the big talk going into game 1 was that Verlander, his ERA, he can be had. And he's someone that the Yankees have gotten to before. So that's what they're hoping for. But the Astros are just so damn good. I don't know how the
Verlander's a dog in the postseason. That dog is in a good way.
He's not been good.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Stevie?
I went to and I just.
Are you tickling yourself again?
I just signed on to Sports Bet Splits, and this is the first thing that popped up on my screen.
That is not on my page.
Thing.
What the hell is that? I just
that is not on my page.
One spot, and that's what I got.
Yeah, you're definitely on the wrong page, Steve.
No, I'm on betting. Oh, that's betting splits.
Guy can't even read. You got to change your bifocal, Steve.
No, it's Sports Bet Splits, providing better splits on today's games.
That's
Gambling writer, follow back.
Hey, do you know who Bobby Sheridan from the Sheridan Report is?
You that.
Oh,
Jake, you ever hear of Bobby Sheridan from the Sheridan Report?
Yeah, what's your story on Bobby Sheridan? We want to know.
Oh,
you've never heard of him, have you?
I is he
You
the guy that
have, come on.
college football?
Really?
No,
baby.
no. See, this is the thing. Nobody knows who Bobby Sheridan is because now that he's not with us, he's irrelevant.
Okay.
There
Easy
you go.
enough.
Yeah. Ain't that right, Steve? Steve and Bobby were
Bobby's a
BFFs.
nice guy.
Yeah, you still talk to him, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Better tell him
He
not to
still
watch
doesn't
this
like
show
you
or he's going to be mad at you. Wait, kiss my ass. I didn't like him first. Old fart. But, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you check out our shows during the week. We will be back with the NFL Pick'em Show or NFL Prediction Show next Wednesday night. But for now.
Dan, do you have the standings? How did we do last week?
Okay, yes. So
remember, don't give records.
no records, but I had 8. You both had 6.
Oh, I had better than I thought I did.
Well, we're getting towards the midpoint of the season where I run away with it, so we ought to be all right.
Yeah, we gotta put it. We gotta buckle down, Steve.
I know. How much do you add by now? By
I'm not ahead. I'm behind.
We're gonna have to calculate this stuff next week.
All right. Well, we'll have to get all of our fingers and toes in the same place to do that, but we're going to go ahead.
We're not going to talk about
Sports Bet Splits.
We're going to talk about Bubba Wallace.
No,
we're not going to talk about Bubba Wallace. But if you want to hear people talk about Bubba Wallace, we do have a NASCAR show you can find on Facebook, on our Facebook page.
It'll get posted.
Make sure you check that out.
It'll get posted.
It's already been posted, and you can follow us at grueling_truth on Twitter. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe on YouTube. But for now, for Jake from Sports Bet Splits, someday we'll know his last name, Dan Kornhauser, Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legend